So, are you feeling that pre-test stress for the IELTS listening section? Yeah, a lot of people do. But what if I told you there's a code to crack it? That's right. In this explainer, we are going to pull back the curtain and show you the most common topics so you can walk into that exam feeling totally prepared and confident. You know that feeling like the listening test is just a total lottery? You're just spinning a wheel, crossing your fingers, hoping a topic you actually know something about pops up. Well, you are definitely not alone. That feeling, that fear of the unknown, it's honestly one of the biggest sources of stress for pretty much everyone taking the test.
And that right there, that's really the heart of the challenge, isn't it? The fear of the unknown. It's not just about how good your English is. It's that anxiety, that worry about what topics they're going to throw at you. And that can totally throw you off your game.
I mean, just picture it for a second. You're sitting there in the middle of the test, and suddenly you're listening to a conversation about, I don't know, astrophysics or ancient pottery. What happens? Your brain just freezes. You don't know the vocabulary. And that single moment of panic, it can derail your entire performance. But here's the thing. What if you could just get rid of that surprise element altogether?
Okay, so this is where we flip the script. We're going to take this test from something that feels like a random, chaotic lottery and turn it into a predictable challenge that you can absolutely conquer. Okay, listen up because this is the key. The topics aren't random at all. There's a pattern. See, the test creators, they're not trying to trick you with some obscure random subjects. No way. They are consistently pulling from a core group of topics that are relevant to everyday and academic life. There is a pattern. And once you see it, bam, you can focus your studies like a laser. So, what is this code? What's the big secret? It's these four, right here: education, travel, health, and shopping. And why these four? Well, think about it. They perfectly reflect the everyday and academic situations you're most likely to run into as a student or a traveler. These, these are your targets. Now, this is absolutely crucial, so lean in. Your goal is not to learn everything. Forget trying to memorize vocabulary for every possible subject under the sun. I mean, that's just impossible, right? It's exhausting. Your real goal is to master the vocabulary for these specific topics. And that makes your preparation so much more manageable and, honestly, incredibly effective. All right, so let's break this down a bit. We're going to start with daily life conversations. So we're talking about shopping and health. These are the types of conversations you'll probably hear in Section 1 or Section 2 of the test. You know, the ones that are usually a little more straightforward. So let's look at this. For shopping, you're not just listening for a simple word like buy. You need to be listening for words like refund or receipt, in stock, when someone's trying to return something. And for health, it's about catching those key terms like appointment or prescription when someone's on the phone with a clinic. Nailing these specific words in context, that's what gets you the points. Okay, let's move on to the other half of our code, academic and travel scenarios. So this is all about education and travel. And you'll see these topics pop up all over the test, from a pretty simple dialogue about booking a holiday in Section 1, all the way to a more complex university lecture in Section 4.
Now, what's really interesting here is just how practical this vocabulary is. When you hear words like lecture, assignment, or deadline, your brain should immediately go, okay, this is academic. Same with travel. You hear reservation or boarding pass, and you know exactly what the context is. Mastering this stuff prepares you for both the social and the academic situations you're going to face. All right, so we have the code, we know the topics. Now the big question is, what do we do with it? How do we use this knowledge? Well, this is where we turn all this information into a real, actionable study plan. It's time to stop just doing random practice tests. Okay, here it is, your 3-step success strategy. And trust me, it is beautifully simple. Step 1, just pick a topic, one of the 4. Let's say you start with travel. Step 2, brainstorm. Think about it. What actually happens when you travel? You book flights, you check in, you go through customs. What words would you expect to hear? Things like reservation, itinerary, connecting flight. Make a list. And finally, step 3, practice and listen. Go find practice audio that is specifically about travel. And when you listen, you're actively hunting for those words you brainstormed. Then, you just repeat the cycle with health, shopping, and education. Simple. And what does this do? It completely transforms your studying. You go from that feeling of chaos, trying to learn absolutely everything, to the incredible clarity of a focused plan. that anxiety you had about unknown topics, it starts to disappear, and it gets replaced with the confidence that comes from knowing you are truly prepared.
So really, there's only one question left for you. Now that you have the code, which common topic will you master first? You know the pattern now. You hold the key to your own success. So pick one. Start that brainstorming list. It's time to take control of your IELTS preparation starting right now.